Hello everyone, it's Lisa Ann from Lisa Ann Tarot. Kind of winging it. I wanted to come on and do a quick reading. We did have some sort of an energy blast today. So from what I was feeling, it was definitely a collective level up. I felt like, you know, in the readings leading up to tonight, we've kind of been hearing about closing out of cycles and new beginnings. So I really feel that we stepped through something. So what I wanted to do was sort of come on and do a reading, kind of like a past, present, future. So we'll take the connection as a whole. We'll see what cycles they're closing. What cycles are they beginning? And then what the future shows, possible future energies of that, cycle. And then we'll get some guidance and some from the angels and go from there. So we're kind of winging it. So this is sort of a past, present, future pertaining to the Lionsgate portal and opening and closing of cycles. So the first card I want to pull is sort of an overall theme as a collective. What are we all going through? What is this? What did that energy shift today? What did that mean? What did that bring to us as a collective? We have new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. So the shift that we went through today is sort of a confidence builder. Just knowing that, we have new beginnings starting. Kind of looking back, we've learned a lot of lessons. And, the only way is really forward. So let's get some cards for the connection. What cycles are we closing at this time? Or what cycles have we brought to a close at this time? For the connection, what cycles have we closed at this time? Oh my goodness. What cycles has the connection closed? We have Judgment Day. Too many. Okay, so let's get some cards to go along with that Judgment Day. So what else do we have to know about this Judgment Day, closing out of cycles? What else do we need to know about the connection's Judgment Day? We have refocus. We have offer. And we have devotion. So what I'm getting from that is that the cycle that we've just closed is sort of the what the Judgment Day sort of represents, and that's sort of the review of how you're living. How authentic are you being? Are you moving through life for what you want and what your purpose is, or are you moving through life because of what you think people want you to do? So we've kind of closed off that cycle. We know now, we've refocused, and we know now what our life is supposed to be, how we want our life to be. So in closing this cycle, we've sort of removed things that no longer serve us. We want more of what life has to offer, and have sort of established our devotion to our path and to our purpose. So all of that comes about with the close of this Judgment Day cycle. What have we healed through the closing of this cycle as a connection? What have we healed through this Judgment Day? Commit to happiness. So we've made a commitment to be happy. We're now devoted to our path. We want what life has to offer. We've refocused through our Judgment Day. And then we have release also came out. So we're releasing things that no longer serve us, and establishing ourselves to move forward toward a new beginning. What are the romance angels? What are the guidances romance angels have in the closing of this cycle? Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So as a connection, connective energy, the connection itself has gone through a Judgment Day. It's refocused. It's being refocused more along the path of alignment and where it's supposed to go. The two counterparts are more devoted to the journey and want what life has to offer from it. They've released old negative feelings, things that no longer serve them, and have made a commitment to be happy moving forward. So that's the connection. Let's get for the masculines. What cycle has the masculines closed out? We have sensitive. What do we need to know about this cycle that the masculines have closed out? We have forgiveness. The masculines. What cycles are they closing out? We have fall. Let's give me one more. What do we need to know about this cycle for the masculines? What have they closed out? So they're closing out a cycle of being sensitive, of kind of holding on to wounds, and I hear the word martyr, you know, really being kind of withdrawn and sulking in their negative energies. The forgiveness card comes out, and this is a lot about forgiving themselves and forgiving, you know, asking for forgiveness, maybe on how they've acted in the past, or how, you know, they've portrayed themselves, being not in their authentic self. We have the Fall. So the Fall card is not only a time marker, but it is also about shadow work. It's about, you know, the darkness, and so they're kind of coming out of this dark period of work that they're doing, their shadow work, and they're bringing to a close their period of solitude. So if this is channeling the part of the collective that's in separation with little to no contact, the cycle that's being closed out for the masculines at this time is this very withdrawn, sort of hermit-like cycle. So what have they healed? What have the masculines healed with this cycle? Self-love. They've learned the art of self-love. That gave me the chills. So the cycle that they've closed out, the lesson that they've learned, or the healing that they've done, is they've learned to love themselves again. They've learned to, you know, really take pride in their path and their journey and the work that they've done. Forgiven themselves, done the shadow work, balanced out their light and their dark. And they're going to be, you know, coming out of this solitude. And we have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So coming forward out of this sort of stuck energy, this hermit-like energy, and being more in the moment rather than living in the past or living in past hurts, is going to bring about more romantic love for them. Bring in their feminine, so to speak. So what cycles are the feminines closing out? Ghosted. Put this here because I'm not quite sure before I ask the question. What cycle? What are this? Alrighty. Addiction. Alright, so we'll take these two. So what the feminines are closing out in this cycle, you know, possibly is a codependency. Addiction speaks of codependency. It also speaks of like numbing, you know, possibly, you know, relying too heavily on alcohol or something else to sort of pass the time. And this ghosted feeling, you know, feeling of being abandoned and kind of left in the dark. So this is what she is closing herself out of. What else do we need to know about this closed out cycle for the feminines? We have purge and observer. Let's do one more. The answer is no. Alright, so what I'm getting from this is that what the feminines are sort of closing out of at this time are any codependent or addictive type habits that they might have picked up. They're, kind of cleaning up their act and cleaning off their plate. And they're looking to come out of this ghosted situation. Feeling abandoned or feeling ignored. The feelings, emotions, and stuff that the ghosted feeling kind of brings out. It can be, sometimes painful for some people. So this cycle is going to close. There's been a lot of emotional purging and, really getting rid of bad habits and low vibrational behaviors. To help propel the feminines forward. The observer is about, kind of keeping track of either their counterpart or their counterpart keeping track of them. Since this is the feminine's cycle, it's more about her sort of checking up on her masculine. Even though we say, you have to fully surrender and just kind of let go and let God kind of, some people still are have that obsessive type addiction to it, that they need to know what's going on at all times. And then the answer is no. So I think the no refers to these, low vibrational habits that are being picked up that, that's not where you want to be. So we want to make sure that this cycle is closed. What are the feminines healed through the closing of this cycle? Replenish. Sort of this last cycle that they've sort of gone through, this purging, this emotional roller coaster that we've been on with this, kind of healing all of these, a lot of purging. There has been a lot of kind of retreating and resting and recharging. So, sort of while they sit and wait, while they might have been ghosted, they've been paying attention to themselves and doing a lot of self-care. And then we have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So yeah, being that the cycle is being closed of being ghosted, it's possible that, there may be communication. There may be, the masculines may come forward with something for the feminine, since, she's kind of replenished herself and gotten rid of all these lower vibrational habits. They could bring the masculines towards them. So this is what we're closing out. So let's get some cards now. Speaking to the new beginning, because when one door closes, another door opens. So let's find out for the connection, what new beginnings will come after this door is closed. We have analytical. Let's clarify this analytical. New beginnings for the connection. What are the new beginnings, things that are beginning now for the connection? One more. One more, please, for the connection. New beginning for the connection. Alright, so we have analytical. We have twin flame. So this is a soul contract. Twin flame connection. We have separation. We have lessons. And we have family. So the new beginnings, or the new cycle that's starting up after this cycle closes, is going to put the connection in more of their headspace about the connection. Really reviewing their contract, their twin flame contract. What is their purpose? What lessons are they learning? The separation, could possibly continue while these lessons are being learned. And then we have family. So this could, bring into play family issues between the counterparts. It could refer to handling, possibly some family issues around the connection as well. So we have a review of the contract, more lessons being learned, and either reviewing the purpose of the separation, if it's still needed, or a continuation of the separation for a period of time. But the lessons in this phase are going to involve not just the connection, but the family as a unit. So let's see what needs to be healed at this time for the connection. Learning. Again, we have lessons. So this is very much looking into the contract and learning what the purpose is of this connection, learning what this connection really is and really means to them, how it involves family, possibly bringing two families together, starting a family, just the thought of family surrounding, long term surrounding this connection. Learning what lessons that they learned while they were separated. Does that need to continue in order for them to finish learning what they need to learn? Guidance from the Romance Angels. The new phase or the current energy of the connection. So we have religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So this also involves, your spiritual journey. Comes into play as well. So there's more lessons surrounding the blending now of the counterparts. involving family and religion, and, really overlooking the lessons that are left to be learned. What new cycle or new beginning is the Divine Masculine looking at? Divine healing. Divine Masculine's current energy. What new beginning are they looking at? Okay, their new cycle. We have divine healing. We have self-worth cycles and return. So what I get from that is the new beginning that they're embarking on is finishing up their divine healing. Really learning that lesson of self-worth, and really, taking to heart the lessons that they've learned. The cycles card comes in, speaking of the cycles of the moon. We do have the new moon coming in Leo, which is about confidence and being confident in yourself, and that self-worth, knowing what you're worth and having the confidence. And they're very much focused on returning to the connection, returning to their feminine, returning to, what we call home, that feeling of home. So what else is the Divine Masculine healing at this time? Reawaken. So the Reawaken card, I'm going to read in the book because I want to make sure I'm right. But the Reawaken card, I believe, is about bringing forth parts of yourself that have been suppressed. Healing self-judgment, embracing hidden aspects of your nature, inner child work, take responsibility for your action, for your happiness. It's up to you to satisfy your heart's desire. Working on healing any buried hurts. Yeah. So that's all also part of the self-worth. So the Reawaken card is about, healing those very deep inner child wounds, and really allowing you to feel joyful, and allowing, the happiness and love back into your life that you might have been shut out for a while. So for the masculines, what guidance do we have from Romance Angels for the masculines? Almost. We have calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And the situation involves marriage. So, as much as the masculine is being guided now to heal a lot of his inner child issues and self-worth, this urge, letting out this want to return home, calling in his counterpart, because this is long term. This is, the love of lifetimes. So that's what he's going to be currently working on. Move this up a little bit. Alright, so let's get the feminines. What are the feminines? What are their new beginnings at this time for the new cycle? What are they going to be looking at for the new beginnings for their this new part of the cycle? Divine feminines. Yeah. We have the Witch. That card. And Suspension. So, I think they came out together. So let's get a couple clarifiers for that. What are the divine? Let's clarify for the Divine Feminines. What do they need to know about this new beginning as far as the Witch and Suspension? Couple cards to clarify for the feminines, please. Current energy. And one more. One more, please, for the feminines. Okay. Alright, feminines. Whew. Wow. Alright, so your new cycle is about suspension. And the three cards that we have here are regret, fear, and being stuck. So what that tells me is there's going to be a suspension of those energies. A lot of feminines have been feeling those energies lately as they wait for their masculines to heal and wait for them to learn their lessons. Being ghosted, little to no communication, not knowing really what's going on. There's going to be a suspension of that energy at this time. The Witch card to me is about not only do you have to be careful when you get to this part of the journey, as close as this is coming to union, the closer you get, the more lessons you learn, the higher you vibrate, the closer you get to realizing that physical union, the more dark forces that come after you. So you do have to protect your connection, protect yourself. Be careful who you share your energy with. Be careful who you tell your story to. Not everybody is authentic. So that card sort of has a double meaning for me. Not only could that indicate that there are people that are set out, witches using witchcraft, but it's also about manifesting. So you have to be very careful of your thoughts. If you're fearful, if you're negative, how many times have we seen in groups, I'm done with this connection. How do I walk away from my twin? I can't take it anymore. Those types of thoughts and things that you say lead to a longer separation, because the universe is like, no, she's not ready yet. So you have to make sure that you sort of put a stop to all that negative talk. Really be grateful and let the gratitude just flow out of you for this journey and for your part in it. Again, not everybody has signed up for this journey. Not everybody has a twin flame connection. So this is definitely something to always be grateful for. So the new cycle starting for the feminines is very important. It's putting a stop to the negative talk. It's putting a stop to keeping yourself stuck. You need to get in the magician's energy, manifest the rest of your connection, manifest your life, keep moving forward and making your strides, making your life better, raising your vibration. He will catch up. He's not going anywhere. You know, your past might not be together right now, but they'll definitely come back. So this is the new cycle that we're in, really concentrating on not feeding into that low vibrational thinking, that low negative talk. What do the romance angels have to say for the feminines? Guidance for the feminines? Two popping out. That's that one. Okay. We have playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit to shine. Alright, so this is being playful. This is really, instead of being stuck and full of regret and full of negativity, raise your vibrations. Be more light. Be more playful. Kind of let things be what they are. And then we have unrequited love. So, like I said, being in this negative mindset, wanting to walk away from the connection, you know, being willing to just sort of throw your hands up and giving up is keeping the energy of unrequited love in the connection. You know, remember, your thoughts are their thoughts, your feelings are their feelings. So if you want your masculine to return, if you want him to find his home and come towards you, you have to shine your light, and put the love out there and be, you know, sort of call him in, because you're being so positive about the connection. So you definitely have to watch your thoughts and watch where your head is at, you know, really look at it from a different perspective. Let's get some possible future energies now for the connection. Possible future energies. We have emotional bliss. Future energies of the connection. Whew. I'm on fire. Emotional bliss. Nice. Future energies of the connection. Two more cards. Come on. Two more. Oh no, three more. I need to clarify this emotional bliss. Future connective energies, please. Future energies of the connection. Come on. All right. So future energies. We have emotional bliss. Then we have contemplation, unawakened, a dark night of the souls, and material world. So what I'm getting from that combination is the connection is headed towards a period of time. You know, this is like the 10 of, I think it's like the 10 of Cups, or, you know, emotional bliss, emotional harmony, you know, fulfilling, a fulfilling relationship, a harmonious relationship. But there's much contemplation about it. There's still a lot of thought. We're still very much analytical in our head about it. We have unawakened. So the true potential of the connection is still kind of getting there. It's still not fully formed, still not fully in line. Because we still have some shadow work to do. We still have a dark night of the soul to go through. And aligning ourselves with the material world, with the 3D. So there is emotional bliss coming. We just have to pull it down into the physical, and make it happen. And what do the romance angels have for the connection? Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So even though, you know, those aren't the best cards in the world, there is still a leveling up of this connection. There is still very much a devoted energy to it. And what this picture paints right here is a true to life relationship. It is about trying to figure out the hard stuff. It is about trying to figure out, you know, the family lessons and how things fit in. It is, you know, how do we figure in religious factors? How, you know, material world, how, you know, how are our finances? This is really about putting together a relationship. So it is ascending. It is, you know, leveling up. There is emotional bliss coming. There is a different level of commitment coming. We still have, you know, some dark times to go through, some things to heal, but, you know, this is coming about. This is the start of physical union, as far as I'm concerned, if I look at this picture correctly. Future energies of the masculine. Come on now. What do I get for not paying attention? Future energies of the masculine. And we have disappointment. And we have destiny calls. So let's see what that's about. Future energies of the masculine. Possible future energies. Okay. Alright, so we have signs. We have tribe. We have a barrier. A karmic partner. And bound. Alright. So what I'm getting with this is the masculine still has some energy to navigate through. This is like the Five of Pentacles. This is about being left out in the cold. There's a barrier that he has to break through regarding a karmic partner. So this could be a current relationship that he is in. It could be a past relationship that's sort of holding him back from moving forward. And it also could be some lower vibrational ego-feeding connections that he still has to sort of get rid of. Because this is what has him held back. This is what has him bound from moving forward. So he does have to navigate this very stuck and very dank energy. But we have destiny calls. So, you know, being that this is fated, being that this is destined, and, you know, the divine intervention is within his, on his journey, within his path. He's going to be given signs to follow. He's going to be given guidance. He's going to be put on the right path. And then the tribe card usually means sort of like a soul tribe or a group of friends or family is also going to aid him in moving forward. So he's going to have help, even though there's this sort of really dark energy here that he's going to have to face. He does have the divine and, you know, people that are being put in his path to help him through that. Alright, so feminine, future energies for the feminine. Now looking at the overall picture for the masculine before I draw that. He's really on a crash, sort of like a boot camp of learning the really hard stuff right now. You know, learning his self-worth, healing his inner child. We've got shadow work going on. But the divine is here helping, pushing him through. He needs to break free from, you know, this karmic partner, this energy that's really putting barriers up and holding him back from realizing his destiny, from moving forward on his path of where he's supposed to be. So he needs to break this chain. He needs to break this cycle. But, you know, he has the divine at his back and people along his way helping him through it. So for the feminine, future energies for the feminine. We have nurturing. We have understanding, conclusion, and muse. So for the feminine, she is still, even though she's coming out of this sort of dark phase herself, purging, doing some self-recharging, regrouping, looking at this connection from a different perspective. She's really offering herself as a very nurturing, positive outlook for him. She's become the muse. She's become, you know, something that he can admire and really gain some inspiration from. She's reached a new level of understanding about this connection and what it's about and what her role is. And she's going to bring the one to bring this all to a conclusion. I believe that she is part of the tribe that's going to help him through this last dark period in his journey. Let's get a romance angel for the masculine. Told you I was winging it. Passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So he is being guided to, open up his heart, to really examine what makes him happy. To realize that he is lovable and he does deserve to be loved. And for the feminine, we have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So the retreat card is about sort of, going within, really following your own guidance, not listening to, too much opinion, really following your heart and following what you believe is part of your journey and what you're supposed to do, your role. Not everybody is going to understand the journey unless you're in it. So sometimes we do kind of have to disconnect from it because not everybody's going to understand. So to wrap up the reading, I'm going to get some messages from Spirit for the masculine. A message for the masculine. Trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. And for the feminine, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there's a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. Sweet. And for the connection, give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. I don't know if I can get any better than that. So, hang on tight. The energies are still kind of churning up all that emotional healing. We are being guided closer to our purpose and onto our path. The more we let go and surrender and allow that shift to happen, the less painful it will be. Trust in the process and just give each other space and have faith that everything is happening as it should. Know your role and follow your heart. And thanks for watching.